Hello, my name is Washika Reese, and this is my final analyze from the movie Precious. The client that I chose from the movie Precious is the mother, Miss Mary Johnson. She's around mid 30s, early 40s, limited education. She did not finish high school. She's unemployed. She lives in Harlem, New York, in a low-income public assistance home. She has a daughter named Clarice Precious Jones. She's emotionally, physically, verbally abusive to. She's also sexually abusive to Precious, and Precious' father is also sexually abusive to her too. But my client is Miss Mary Johnson. She exhibit um, psychological trauma, um, marked by the marked by rage, denial, manipulations, and she depends on the welfare system. So I'm gonna break this down and do a soap note on her and a eco map and a genogram. So here's the soap note. We're gonna start off with the goals. So I listed three of her goals. I only list three because I don't want to overwhelm her with so many goals, and she's very resistant towards the assistance that I feel that she needs. So first, we're gonna have her to establish a support system outside of the welfare system, including community-based programs or a women's group support group. Work on her self-esteem, incite her to roll in mother and like in parent classes, and try to show her how to be a bit more effective parent towards Precious and her grandkids, and try to get her out the house because she spends a lot of her time in the house watching TV, and they just she just isolate herself. So the subjective is Miss Mary. She says she feels very furious and resentful towards her daughter Precious. She feel unappreciated despite having done all that she feel like she has done for her child, and she's very envious of the Precious connection with her father. Um, she blames seems like she blames Precious for her father molesting her. So she also admits to being dependent on the benefits too, which I said that in the beginning. But most overall, Miss Mira, she's jealous of her daughter, and instead of being a parent and trying to help her daughter, she's shows resentment towards her daughter and just very mean and hateful towards her daughter. And like I say, she just she just not. I don't want to call her a Miss Mira. Just has a lot of work that she needs to work on. But right now, she's very resentful, and I'm going to try my best to work with her and get her through this. Okay, so the adjective. So Miss Mary, she comes off pr- protective, emotionally reactive, and frequently detached from reality. She has poor emotional control. She verbally attacks the social worker when confronted. She attacks anyone who confronts her about her parenting skills with Precious. She doesn't fully understand how her action affects Precious and her grandkids. She has very poor hygiene. It appears like she doesn't keep herself up, and she talked very down on her daughter when her daughter tried to keep herself up. And like I said, she stays isolated. She just sits home, smokes cigarettes, and watch TV, and thinks she's doing a good job in raising her daughter and her grandchild. And one of her grandchild has Down syndrome and doesn't live with them. That child stays with her mother, who she doesn't have a relationship with. Okay, so assessments. I feel like her main diagnosis is anxiety, depression. She shows narcissistic traits. She's very defensive, very bitter. She always has to be in control over everything, and she isolates herself from the world. Like she just live in TV land, and she's emotionally unstable, severe interpersonal conflicts, and divided tendency. She also have a borderline personality disorder. So here's the plan if she's willing, but we're going to continue to work with Miss Muir. We're going to try to engage her in therapy to address past trauma, her anger management, and her emotional regulations. Introduce her to psychoeducation of on the impact of abusive behavior and relationship and child development. So we're gonna put her in parenting classes and hope let her complete parenting classes and also parenting classes 3 times a week. Forgot to put that in my goal. We're gonna do parenting classes 3 times a week, and then we're gonna develop continue to have case management service where a social worker or myself will come out there monthly, do a welfare check and check on them. Okay, so here's the genogram of my client, Ms. Mira Johnson. It shows some maternal father, which we don't know. Her maternal mother, which she has a strange relationship with. It's a distant relationship. Domestic violence relationship between Mr. Carl Jones and Miss Mary. And it's also a domestic violence relationship between her daughter Precious. It's a domestic violence relationship, sexual abuse relationship with her daughter Precious, and emotional. We have some people. We have Precious and her deceased father, both showing HIV positive. All three of them HIV positive. I'm sorry. And one of Precious, her granddaughter, the one that resides with the grandmother, she has Down syndrome. And the son Abdullah, he resides with Miss Mary Johnson and Precious Johnson at this time. Okay. Okay, so this is the eco map on Miss Mary Johnson. I have the arrows pointing, all the arrows going towards Miss Johnson because, and that stands for potential help. This is like represents the help that she could begin if she wasn't resistant towards the help. She could begin mental health services, more public assistance services. She can try to get her GED through educational services, legal services, and I mean she can also get support from her daughter Precious, and Precious social worker can also help Miss Mary. She needs to go to a domestic violence class that can also reach out and help her. Like Miss Mary has a village that's willing to help her, but she has to want the help. The end. Precious was a very sad movie. I didn't honestly didn't want to watch the movie, but had to do it for class, and uh, it's not a good feeling. I didn't enjoy the movie. It's sad. So the end.